Hello, everyone. I've got a crazy cold case in Baltimore from back in 2006 to talk about today. This one is truly baffling. With that being said, let's jump right into it. No pun intended. Rey Rivera was born on June 10, 1973, to Angel and Maria Rivera. He was a former water polo player and coach, graduated from the University of the Pacific in 1995, and later played professionally in Spain. From 1998 to 2001, he coached the boys and girls swimming and water polo teams at John Burroughs High School in Burbank, California. One of his most successful seasons came in 2000, when he helped guide the girls' team to a 25-6 record, a second-place finish in the Almont League, and a berth in the CIF Southern Section Division III semifinals. He subsequently served as an assistant coach for the men's water polo team at Johns Hopkins University. Ray Rivera moved to Baltimore with his girlfriend Allison in December 2004 when he accepted a job writing financial newsletters for Porter Stansberry. A year later, the most significant event took place in his life, when Ray and Allison were married in Puerto Rico. Just 1 year after that, tragedy would unfortunately strike. Rivera went missing from his home on May 16, 2006, shortly after receiving a phone call from the Agora Publishing switchboard, according to a guest staying at his residence at the time. After several days of searching for clues on his whereabouts, Rivera's in-laws found his car located in a parking lot off of St. Paul Street in Baltimore's Mount Vernon neighborhood, near his workplace. Two of Rivera's co-workers went to the top of a parking structure near where the car was discovered and noticed a hole in the roof of the south wing of the Belvedere Hotel next door. Police soon discovered Rivera's partially decomposed body inside the conference room under the hole. As police began to analyze the case, numerous aspects seemed odd about Rivera jumping off the main roof of the Belvedere Hotel. Partly due to the hotel's mansard roof, there was a considerable horizontal distance between the hotel and the location of the hole in the lower roof. The vertical fall of approximately 177 feet would have taken approximately 3.3 seconds. This suggests that Rivera, if he did come from the roof and traveled a horizontal distance of 43 feet or 13 meters before impact, would have had to have a horizontal speed of 10 miles per hour, which is a speed between a fast run and a sprint for an average fit male wearing sports shoes. Ray was wearing flip-flops, or he was barefoot, and would have had a maximum run-up of just over 15 feet, or 5 meters, that would have equaled out to about 2.5 seconds. Rivera's eyeglasses and phone were found undamaged on top of the Belvedere Hotel, near the hole he'd gone through. Because circumstances surrounding the incident are unclear, the medical examiner marked Rivera's manner of death as undetermined. The Baltimore Police Department ruled Rivera's death as a probable sewer slide. After searching the house for evidence, Rivera's wife found a note behind his computer. The confusing note included the names of prominent figures in Hollywood, movie titles, Freemasonry quotations, and additional ramblings. The Federal Bureau of Investigation analyzed the note and ruled it an odd note, but not to be a sewer slide note. Rivera's death was featured on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries in July 2020. Angel Rivera, the brother of Ray Rivera, took part in the documentary series in the hopes it might lead someone to share new information about his brother's unexplained death. He said, "We'll get it out to more ears and eyes than we could have ever possibly imagined. For my parents, even for me, there's that closure that we're all looking for." An additional theory offered by the show is that Rivera may have jumped from a ledge several floors below the roof, but it would have been difficult for Rivera to access the ledge from the privately owned condominiums and offices that had windows onto the ledge. All of the ledge access windows either half open or don't open at all, and nobody reported seeing him at the Belvedere on the 16th, which is when it's presumed he fell or jumped, which was determined by the state of decomposition his body was in by the time it was discovered.
I think that living without answers is a really hard thing. Human beings, we like to put things in a box and kind of move on.
Allison Rivera has gone without answers about the death of her husband Ray for 14 years. It was May 2006. 32-year-old Ray Rivera's body was found in a meeting room of the Belvedere Hotel. A hole in the roof suggested he fell from a height. Mystery has prevailed ever since.
I kept saying there is something bigger. I'm going to find out.
This month sparked new interest in the case. The Netflix series, Unsolved Mysteries, featured the Ray Rivera case in its opening episode.
It's truly unbelievable.
It was the first time Allison spoke so publicly about her loss and frustration of not knowing what led to Ray's death.
There's an answer out there. Somebody knows something. And if that's just seeing him or the phone call that was made, there's an answer out there. And I thought that this would be a platform in which just lay the facts out and see if there's, somebody out there that knows something.
Baltimore police in 2006 quickly leaned to suicide, but the medical examiner left the case open with a ruling of undetermined. A timeline. Ray left the couple's Northwood home seemingly in a hurry after receiving a phone call. That was about 6 p.m. on May 16, 2006. His car was located in a lot next to the Belvedere. A parking ticket suggested it had been there overnight the night of the 16th. His body was found May 24th, 8 days later, after former co-workers at a publishing company saw the hole in the roof. Days later, a bizarre note was found taped to a computer Ray used. The FBI said it wasn't a suicide note. Allison has lived with that note and other writings of Ray's all these years, with no clearer picture of their meaning.
You clearly don't believe that he took his own life.
I clearly do not believe that. Nope. I do not believe that. Not at all. I've never taken like, I don't want it to believe that it's not suicide. It's really been like, what has happened? And then let me sort my emotions out from there. Like, let me work through maybe, if there was regret and so I have really been very, very open to whatever answers may be placed in front of me.
Did Ray fall? Was he pushed? Police found no one who could place Ray inside the Belvedere that night. Allison hired an expert who determined Ray would have had to get to a running speed of 11 miles per hour to make a jump from the roof of the building to reach the location of the hole. No witnesses came forward. Could the new attention to the case solve a 14-year-long mystery?
You fight for the people that you love, and you fight, and I love his family, and I loved him more than anything, and you fight for those answers so that you can have some kind of peace. And I think that everybody in this world would want that.
According to the major of homicide in the Baltimore Police Department, the Rivera case is officially open, though the major said no new leads have been received to follow up. The major's statement went on that the department would certainly welcome new information to bring closure to the Rivera family. Reporting live tonight from Mount Vernon, I'm Jane Miller, WBAL TV 11 News.
After the series was released, a popular theory emerged on Reddit suggesting that Rivera's death was connected to the film The Game, which had been referenced in a note he left before his death. In the movie, the main character also jumps from the roof of a building through a glass ceiling. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Unsolved Mysteries co-creator Terry Dunn said she had asked Rivera's wife, Allison, about the theory, and Allison stated that she did not see any real connection between the death and the film. A detail not included in the episode but later revealed by Terry Dunn was that an unidentified person had called the police station several times, showing unusual interest in the status of Rivera's computers and even asking about retrieving them, which left Allison feeling very troubled. Murr also emphasized that one of the most baffling parts of this case was the mysterious phone call from Rivera's workplace that prompted him to rush out of his home on the day of his disappearance. She urged the caller to come forward, suggesting that it could be the key to understanding what really happened, but they never did. Murr also revealed that she had spoken directly with Porter Stansberry, who declined to be interviewed for Unsolved Mysteries, explaining that his company advised employees not to speak to the media. Although he denied imposing a gag order, investigators reported difficulty obtaining cooperation from his colleagues. She added that Stansberry had previously told the press that Rivera and his wife had been in therapy and that Rivera had psychological issues, claims that both she and Allison rejected as unfounded, noting that no one interviewed for the series agreed with his claims, which Allison believed contributed to police treating the case as a sewer slide. Another netizen's popular theory on Reddit goes something like this. As a writer doing investigative work, he found something out about the company he worked for that he was never supposed to see or know. Something fraudulent and illegal, maybe. Ray thought he could talk to his friend Porter, but Porter freaked out and called someone powerful within the company. Those people, or just Porter, made sure cameras were off and knew which blind spots to use to navigate to the roof of the Belvedere. This could have been planned months ahead. Someone powerful in the company, or just Porter, told him something that made him go to the Belvedere, or they simply asked him to come. Both are plausible. They most likely would have had to tell Ray where to park, give him instructions to meet him at the hotel, and directions on how to get onto the roof as well. They speak to Ray about what he knows, confirming he wants to do the right thing, and let the story out. They threaten Ray, he runs, they give chase and eventually catch him and drag him to the ledge. His sandals, also found on the roof, had drag marks and one was torn apart. They most likely broke his shins when they caught him, picked him up, and threw him off the roof, assuming this is 3 or more men. Then, they planted his phone and glasses to look like they fell off of his body as he was falling. They believe Ray's job being right next to the Belvedere is not a coincidence, and I tend to believe that too, especially if the gag order really did happen at his workplace, right after the discovery of the body. Also, if it's a sewer slide, why were some detectives trying to solve the case suddenly removed without reason? Were the Baltimore police paid off by the company he worked for? We may never know. It's also strange his coworkers refuse to talk about what they think or know. Normally with sewer slide, it would have quite literally been laid to rest. There would be little to no reason for all the hiding, removing, and refusing. They stress that there are good and bad cops out there, and they aren't wrong. They also wonder if the police dusted for fingerprints on the roof, or found any clues of other people standing or walking around up there. Again, we may never know. This is certainly a crazy, suspicious, and baffling case. I remember watching that episode of Unsolved Mysteries when it came out, and the case has stuck with me and confused me ever since. If you know something about Ray Rivera's disappearance or death, please contact the Baltimore City Police Northwestern District at 410-396-2466. Now, I know this is a bit off topic, but here's an interesting bonus video about the haunting at the Belvedere Hotel's bar that was filmed 2 years after Ray Rivera's death.
It was the Trump Towers of the 1900s, and lots and lots of people stayed here, and it is reported to be haunted by probably just under a dozen different ghosts.
In its heyday, the Belvedere Hotel was the premier spot in Baltimore, and it's widely believed that some of the guests here are no longer among the living.
This is reportedly very haunted.
Brandon Welch is a tour guide with Baltimore Ghost Tours and says the stories here are numerous, like a woman who saw a spirit in the Owl Bar.
She came in one morning early to the Owl Bar on the first floor and saw a little old man standing in the corner, and he was kind of surprised when she walked into the empty bar, and she said then he turned and walked right straight through a door.
Going up, the 12th floor has had some activity, as has the 13th floor, where a man had an unusual experience sitting at the bar.
He reported that the level of liquor went down, like it was being, sucked up by an invisible straw or something. And when he saw that, he and his friend actually left.
The Belvedere isn't the only haunted spot on Mount Vernon. There are reportedly many, including the Brass Elephant, and here at the Garrett Jacobs Mansion House next to the monument.
Amazing things happen, things I've never seen before in my life, like faucets turning on and the water pouring out. Woman said that her face was being touched and no one was touching her.
But if you're looking for a spooky experience, not to worry. Brandon says it can happen anytime.
Halloween is a great holiday, but I don't think it's any more haunted than any other day of the year.
Jennifer Franciotti, WBAL TV 11 News.
Rest in peace to Ray Rivera, and as usual, if you're a fan of urban legends, folklore, unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and all things mysterious, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.